Pizza Hut is being sued by a family in Brooklyn for allegedly taking a bite out of their business. The Mongiello family says it was their idea to pump pizza crust full of cheese, and now they want a piece of the Pizza Hut pie. Barry Cunningham reports.
Sutton intends to prove the Mongiellos had the idea for stuffed crust pizza first, with a patent granted in 1987. A patent gives its owner a monopoly over a product or a production process.
This is a very real lawsuit with a very real United States patent, with a very real defendant that's practicing a method in making stuffed crust pizza. It's very real that the Mongiellos approached Pizza Hut. I have a great deal of confidence in the outcome of this lawsuit.
Aren't we reading about cutting the pizza shell here? This is in your patent, right?
Yes, sir. I did just explain to you what that meant. I read it with you. We did it together.
Right, and it says here that you cut it so that any food or filling in those pockets does not accidentally spill from those pockets. Is that correct?
I have to read it again to see if it says exactly what you're saying it does.
Okay, why don't you read it again?
I'll read it aloud.
Yeah, those are the exact words. Yeah, read it aloud from 45 to 50. Sir, read it from 45 to 50.
Do I need to?
No. Counsel, if you're not going to conduct yourself in a proper demeanor, I've got to go to the court, and I don't want to.
You can go to the court anytime you want.
Okay. You're arguing with the witness, you're yelling at the witness, and you're not letting the witness finish his testimony. If you ask a question, you must let him finish.
I don't want to go back past the point where this portion of the video is playing, okay?
I don't mean to interrupt you, but that wasn't a continuous thing. I mean, that wasn't a continuous thing. I mean, they cut it in the middle. I don't know that that's the same as what was before.
Do you believe that the pie that's being made there is an infringement of the patent?
When they said that they made their stuffed crust pizza with a continuous ring, Pizza Hut was lying.
Okay, we're gonna settle down.
All right.
Hold for that. That's wonderful.
This is 22A, take one, save 6.
Action. Tell me your full name.
My name is Michael Clark.
David Delarose.
Andre Barber.
Jackie Gorman.
James Jacoby.
The Pizza Hut location that I worked at was Kansas City, Missouri.
San Bernardino, California.
In Port Jefferson, New York.
In Portland, in Maine.
Northern Boulevard in Bayside, Queens.
How many years?
From about 94 to 96.
I was employed there for 9 years, from 1989 to 1998.
94 to probably end of 96.
I became a assistant manager, and I was an assistant manager for 2 years.
I was hired as assistant manager. And then about a year after that, I was promoted to store manager.
Have you ever been instructed by Pizza Hut to make a stuffed crust pizza with one continuous ring that is uncut?
No, it was not one ring. It was a half a dozen strips of polio of the string cheese around equal space, you know, within an inch or so of each other, but it would fill that pie.
Like the polio string cheese that you buy as snacks, it was kind of like that. I think they were a little bit longer, but they were like nice thick pieces of cheese and already pre-cut.
The way we received the mozzarella sticks was in stick form, just like they do in the supermarket. It's just like going in your refrigerator at home to get a mozzarella polio cheese.
So, in your expertise, Pizza Hut did not prepare a full, complete, uncut ring. Is that correct?
That's correct. Absolutely.
Pizza Hut started making claims that our pizza was made with a singular ring of cheese. And I can't speak for other Pizza Huts, but I know in our store, there was no way. That was impossible.
Why is that?
Because we didn't have a ring of cheese, first off. And we used 5 to 7 string cheese. There was no such thing as a ring of cheese.
We use separate pieces of mozzarella. I don't know how you would get a ring done. With the pieces, you can just fit them. I think if you had to make a ring of cheese, you know, the size and everything, whatever it was, this was our instructions, you know, from headquarters.
Mongiello Children LLC with pizza. Case number 95.
Okay, guys, let's make sure we have our focus marks on Anthony. I'm just making sure that I have my focus for you. And I'm just gonna check the lighting, and we're gonna be good to go.
Fine.
Tell me your full name.
My name is Anthony T. Mongiello.
Where were you born?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
I want your opinion about Pizza Hut's desire to circumvent your patent.
When I read the article, there was a very descriptive line in there that is etched in my brain. They said, a ring of cheese baked right into the crust. Look, a ring to me has no beginning and no end. And I felt that they were using one large round piece of cheese somehow and putting that onto the flat dough base and then covering it. But lo and behold, they're not doing that. They're copying my patent. If you read my patent, it's a very simple process. It's a process and a patent to make a pizza shell. The key is to place a plurality of separate individual food portions on the dough base. Well, they weren't putting a ring of cheese. They were putting separate individual string cheeses, in fact 5 of them, on the crust, evenly spaced apart. Exactly what my patent reads.
How did you come to the realization that you wanted to pursue the matter legally?
Because I sent it to them. Not once, but twice.
So they had the patent already?
They did. Sure they did.
Hello, Little Caesars. Can I speak to your licensing department, please? Hi, Domino's. This is Anthony Mongiello. Hello, Pizza Hut. I'm a product inventor based in Brooklyn, New York, and I have a huge opportunity for you that could change the pizza industry and boost your sales. I have a patented product. My product makes them eat the crust. Anybody. There's a lot of money being made here. No, I swear to God, please, it's a real patent. You have to listen to me. You have to understand. How old am I doesn't have anything to do with this. You know, like people from Brooklyn. Hello, Pizza Hut. It's been approved. I have that in hand. I'd love to partner with you guys. Yes, sir. I'm ready when you are. And you said research and development department, correct? Okay, great. I'll send that guys right out to you. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Pizza Hut denies it stole the family's invention.
After our exhaustive search of the Federal Patent Office, we found that the Mongiello claim has absolutely no merit at all, and we will oppose their claim vigorously.
But Pizza Hut didn't have to search very hard to find patent number 4661361. The family lawyer says the Mongiellos took their billion-dollar idea to Pizza Hut twice. The family lawyer says the Mongiellos took their billion-dollar idea to Pizza Hut twice since 1988, but the company showed no interest.
The Mongiellos approached Pizza Hut and presented the patent to them and offered them a license, and there was no apparent interest on the part of Pizza Hut.
Tell me your full name.
Paul J. Sutton.
Where were you born?
The Bronx.
Do you still teach patent law at New York University?
I do.
Is it true that you achieved the highest AV lawyer rating in the United States?
I did.
Would you consider yourself an expert in the field of patent law?
I've been designated as such by courts.
When was it brought to your knowledge that the Mongiello family and Anthony contacted you? Talk to me a little bit about those early days.
The Mongiellos thought that they could have a very good business opportunity by approaching Pizza Hut and offering them a patent license. Pizza Hut's response was, "We're not at all interested." They approached them again and offered them a license. They had hoped to get into a negotiation, and it was at that point that they approached me. What I did is I examined the patent. I examined what Pizza Hut was doing. I saw the similarities, and that justified my opinion that a cause of action for patent infringement by the Mongiellos against Pizza Hut was warranted.
And they wrote you a letter confirming that they had received the patent information.
Exactly. I couldn't believe it. It was a thank you for thinking of us, thank you for sharing it with us, but we have absolutely no interest in this product.
Lo and behold, they see that Pizza Hut enters the market with a stuffed crust pizza. They ran ads, including some with Donald Trump and
who, I grew up with. And he is all excited on the phone. And I'm like, what's going on? He says, Anthony, you sold your pizza idea to Pizza Hut? And I'm dumbfounded. I said, dude, what are you talking about, man? He said, Anthony, Pizza Hut is launching stuffed crust pizza. Isn't that your product?
Can I have the last slice?
Actually, you're only entitled to half.
I got a phone call from Anthony, and he said, Lon, they're making it. I said, who's making what? He says, Pizza Hut, they're making stuff in the crust pizza. I said, are you sure? I said, okay, I have to see this. So I hung up, and all of a sudden, a Pizza Hut commercial comes on. And it's Donald Trump telling America he has to eat a slice of pizza backwards.
I got chills up and down my spine. I couldn't believe here's Pizza Hut using my idea and in fact taking my name as well.
A commercial would come on, he'd change the channel. An ad would come on the car radio, he'd change the channel. It bothered him, and we know it bothered him. I mean, it upset him. You could see, Anthony was the type where he would never, we knew it upset him, but he would never show that.
My brother and I were freaking out when we saw it. We were just amazed that, it was Anthony's product. It was his idea. He was upset. He was really upset. We all were. We all were for him. It's something that he worked on. He gave his life to it.
I have chills right now. Back then, they were multiplied 1,000-fold. And I just thought to myself, he did it, meaning Anthony. Now, what do we do? Because we have a patent. Now, what do we do?
If you would stop that and back that up, I'd appreciate it.
No, I'm not interested. I'm just trying.
I'm asking you. I'm sorry. I'm asking you to please. I asked you to stop that back a bit. What you just showed. Yeah, I had asked you. You said just tell you where, and I'm trying to tell you where.
Right there. Right there. We've never seen a copy of this video that was shown on television as we're now looking at it, and we ask that by tomorrow we be provided with a copy of this video which bears the name Pizza Hut as originating with Pizza Hut, that be produced promptly tomorrow to
I was going to Pizza Hut. and I would buy a pizza and figure out what was going on, what could possibly be the difference. You're still stuffing the crust of a pizza.
Stop, okay? Stop!
I was doing an investigation and I would cut the thing open from the top. And you could see where the dough closed in between the cheese sticks.
This was never supposed to be this way. This was supposed to be a moment of pride for the whole family, for Pop.
Anthony, I know you're in a lot of pain right now. It's normal.
Law, they stole from me. I gave them the patent, the process of making it. They said, sorry, we're not interested. And then they stole my idea.
Hey, what would Pop do?
Fight back.
Exactly.
Fight back.
Let's open this sucker up and see how they make it. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, go for it. Is everything okay?
Yeah. I mean, yes. It's just that it worked. They made my idea work.
I don't understand though. What about the commercials with it being a ring of cheese baked right into the crust?
Yeah, well, what about it?
And look at it. There isn't a ring.
Exactly. We gotta show this to Paul. Do you understand what's happening here? What they're doing to our family?
Anthony, don't say that.
I feel humiliated. I feel alone. Law, alone. Papa's gone. Mom is gone. And fighting this case is gonna cost me more than I even have.
All these people looking from the outside had no idea the fight I was in, how emotionally distraught I was.
Now, as I understand your testimony, you believe that a pizza being made according to the steps under the original would be an infringement. Is that correct?
That is what I said, sir.
Yeah, okay.
This is Anthony Mongiello. I'm calling in regards to the Stuffed Crust Pizza. I need to speak to somebody right away about it. I just saw your campaign in the news about Stuffed Crust Pizza. I need to speak to somebody about it right away. I'm the inventor.
Hello.
Hello, this is Anthony Mongiello.
Yes, we know who you are. Anthony Mongiello, patent number 466131, right?
Yes.
In fact, Anthony, I'm also aware that you reached out to Pizza Hut several years ago and you were trying to get us to take a look at your patent, right? You wanted us to partner with you in some capacity?
That's correct.
Anthony, I gotta tell you, we're talking about the late 80s here. So in that time, I mean, things have changed a little bit. Your patent has become problematic for Pizza Hut. Now, I know that's frustrating. Okay, I understand frustration. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. But in this job, in this position, over the years, I've found that sometimes, if I just put a number out there, everybody gets a lot more comfortable. I'm gonna say a number, and my recommendation is that you listen to it and accept it, and then just go away. All right, we can settle this all right now. $50,000 for your patent and your trademark. Take it or leave it. It's up to you.
Let me think about it.
You do that.
I was completely at a loss for words. I needed $50,000 like I needed blood in my body.
Why didn't you take it?
I couldn't take $50,000. That was crazy.
We're all in Anthony's office, and he gets a phone call. They offered me $50,000 to go away.
A buyout.
A buyout, yeah.
How could I take $50,000? That was wrong. But to me, that was an admission of guilt.
We exhaustively searched the patent office to make sure we weren't infringing on anyone. We would never infringe on anyone. That's just not the way we do business.
What do you think his lowest moments were during the trial? Did Anthony ever talk to you about taking his own life?
No, never. Anthony? No. Never. Never, to me at least. I don't see that. I never saw that.
He was very distraught, let me just say that.
What does that mean, very distraught? And what did he say?
He wanted to kill himself.
I don't think anybody could realize what happens to you when you have pressure from all sides. And I contemplated. I believe in God. And I needed help because I was in a space that was not a good space.
And he had a gun with him.
Yeah, and he was crying.
I called my brother and I said, Law, look, I can't do this. I don't understand it. I can't fix it. And I can't stop it.
I said, calm down. Not to worry about it. Everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Anthony called me because he wanted me to know. Nobody else. And he knew I'd have his back.
Thank God, he was able to talk some sense into me. After talking to my brother, that got me out of the funk I was in and helped to get me back on track.
What was the next legal procedure to advance the Mongiello's case?
Well, the next procedure was initiated by Pizza Hut.
Sure we can circumvent this patent?
Absolutely we can. Research and development team's already been on it for over 8 months.
So what do you want to do with these little guys?
Well, let's give them something. Keep their mouths shut. Otherwise, the more the press hears about it, the worse we look. Otherwise, the more the press hears about it, the worse we look.
Describe to me how the meeting went and what transpired.
Look, I waited for that day like a father waiting for his child. And the opportunity
to go sit with Pizza Hut's attorneys to discuss a settlement, that was an admission of guilt.
You must be Anthony. I'm Eugene Goldstein, Chief Corporate Counsel. This is Joseph Russo, our partner for corporate settlements. Pleasure to meet you. And Cynthia Parson, our associate representing research and development team at Pizza Hut.
Pleasure.
Please make yourselves comfortable. So, Paul, why don't you start this meeting by updating Joseph and Cynthia, since we've talked a number of times, and articulate where you think the infringement has occurred.
Certainly. United States patent number 46613618, titled Method of Making a Pizza. It has been infringed upon by the Pizza Corporation for using this patent invention without any financial remuneration or compensation. Furthermore, Pizza Hut's lucrative launch of this stuffed crust product was a direct copy of Anthony's invention, namely using cheese in a plurality of closed pockets uniformly distributed, thus branding it Stuffed Crust Pizza.
At that place, in the course of this legal battle, what was the temperature in the room?
The temperature in the room was hot from scratch.
Please refer, ladies, gentlemen, to Appendix A, Appendix C, and Appendix D.
Paul, may I say something to your client?
Please.
First of all, let me say how much I respect your invention. I know that both your father and your grandfather were inventors of manufacturing cheese products in New York City. Clearly, it's in the blood. Clearly, it's in the blood.
I think that Pizza Hut lawyers sized me up, understood they had a problem, and that if I got on a stand in front of my peers to explain my story, they would have lost.
Now, I have privately discussed this patent with Cynthia and the entire research and development team. They have assured me that our Pizza Hut product and your patent are different.
With all due respect, Eugene, you and I both know Anthony was shopping his idea around directly to Pizza Hut. That means the R&D department had direct access, full access, to that patent in 1987.
Paul, I understand your frustration. Be that as it may, we did not infringe on your client's patent. Now, Anthony, I know this is not what you want to hear, but it's the truth. In the spirit of trying to resolve this matter, what can we do, Joseph?
Paul, what do you think would be a fair settlement?
Well, given the life of the patent and the number of Pizza Hut stores at 3,300 and the sales revenue, our initial claim is for $24 million.
$24 million? Paul, that's a lot of money.
We believe that's a fair number.
At any point, did you feel that Pizza Hut was interested in coming to some type of settlement?
I never experienced any kind of interest on their part. They considered this a nuisance in a David and Goliath setting.
Well, unfortunately, Paul, for that amount of money, we're going to have to fight this. Well, unfortunately, Paul, for that amount of money, we're going to have to fight this.
Okay. Then we'll see you in court.
It collapsed right in front of me. All my dreams right there were shattered because I thought we were going to come to terms. I spoke to no one initially. I was running this over in my head over and over and over again. And I couldn't imagine that we weren't debating this back and forth.
You knew that the public would be on your side if you could explain this story and people could relate to you.
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, taking it to trial and me being able to have a jury of my peers to tell my side of what happened, the outcome would have been completely different.
Yeah, I can cut that into 5 slices, and I can get you 5.
I
Please
said.
let the witness finish.
I said.
Please let the witness finish.
Okay. Let me ask you.
Please let the cheese on every slice. Please let the witness finish.
Okay.
You don't like his answer.
Are you finished now, Mr.?
No, let him finish.
Are you finished,
I don't know
Mr.
if the
Mongiello?
court reporter got that. Could you please repeat?
Did you get the whole thing?
Please read the back of
Read the question.
Tell me what a summary judgment is.
They take whatever facts of the case that they feel is supportive of their position, and they present it to the judge. But it's one person. The big chains like Pizza Hut are gonna do everything they can do to circumvent that patent, and that's what they did. And they got a judge, one person, to side in their favor. I didn't get to be in front of a jury.
This is the start of what became a rather unfortunate scenario. What Pizza Hut did is they made a motion for summary judgment. They asked the judge to take the jury trial away from the Mongiellos. Pizza Hut was successful in having Judge Nickerson rule in its favor that the case should not go forward to the jury trial, that the case would not be tried. The judge, in my opinion, did a terribly unfortunate thing. He ruled that that should take place. He prevented the Mongiellos from proceeding and getting their case in front of the jury. He short-circuited the case completely.
It was hurtful. It was deceitful. They took advantage of the power they had to squash me like I was a little bug on the floor. And that's not what America's built on. That's not what this country is all about.
When you got the summary judgment, describe to me the emotions that you were feeling at the time.
I lost my brother for the trial. And a lot of stuff wasn't important to me anymore. Excuse me. And when I finally did get the call from Paul, and he said, the judge ruled Paul needed $250,000 to take it up on an appeal. And he knew I didn't have that money.
They've never even thought about going any route except direct with morality and ethics. And it's unfortunate that they lost this case against Pizza Hut. They should have won.
I want you to close your eyes. Keep them closed. What if, in your passing, you never get to see that vindication? What does that future look like to you?
It's wrong. It's wrong. Look, I don't want any money from anybody. I don't want even to hurt Pizza Hut. I want my recognition.
When the history books are written about Italian-American inventors, to see your name as being the inventor of stuffed crust pizza as an Italian-American, how does that make you feel?
I want that for my children more than myself. No one will take away the fact that I'm the inventor, creator of stuffed crust pizza. In my mind, that will never ever go away. But I want to leave something on this earth. I want to leave my mark, as we all do. I want my recognition because I want my kids to feel proud of their dad and what he has accomplished in his life.
Anthony Mongiello, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
In un mondo che non ci vuole più, il mio canto libero sei tu, e l'immensità si apre intorno a noi, al di là del limite degli occhi tuoi. Nasce il sentimento, nasce in mezzo al pianto che si innalza altissimo e va e vola sulle accuse della gente, a tutti i suoi retaggi indifferente, sorretto da un anelito d'amore, di vero amore, in un mondo che prigioniero è. Respiriamo liberi, io e te, e la verità si offre nuda a noi, e limpida è l'immagine, ormai. Nuove sensazioni, giovani emozioni si esprimono purissime in noi. La veste dei fantasmi del passato, cadendo lascia il quadro immacolato e s'alza un vento tiepido d'amore, di vero amore, riscopro te.
I'm back where it all began, where I took my creativity and actually put it to work to create my stuffed crust pizza. And it's my pleasure to show you how simplistic it is and what my patent for stuffed crust pizza is all about. Well, what we have here today is we have a dough to make a nice large pie. We've got a tomato sauce, marinara, and we've got some shredded mozzarella to put on top. But the most important part is what's going to go inside the crust. So with this stuffed crust pizza, I'm going to use the same ingredients that Pizza Hut did. And we're going to use the 1 ounce paleo cheese stick. The reality of the patent is you're going to start with a flat dough base and you're going to place what's called a plurality of separate individual food portions on the dough base. They chose to use paleo string cheese. And the ironic part of this is that my dad is the creator of this 1 ounce cheese stick. So it's really, I'm not sure how to say it, it's very sensitive to me. It's important when making a stuffed crust pizza that when you fold the dough over the filling, that you make sure that you adhere that piece of dough to the bottom of the dough. Every time I make a stuffed crust pizza, it brings me back. It brings me back to the first day. It brings me back to the aha moment. I didn't realize what I was embarking on. I had no idea what was happening. And I was just, doing a normal thing. And like they say, all great inventions, they happen by accident. And this one actually did the same thing. It just happened by accident. I mean, I'm not a pizzaiolo guy. By trade, I'm a cheese guy. And it looked like there was a huge calzone or a zeppeli on the edge of the pizza. And when I bit into it, I realized if there was something inside that crust, this would be amazing. And that's how stuffed crust pizza was born.
Dolce compagna che non sai dove andare, ma sai che ovunque andrai, al fianco tuo mi avrai. Se tu lo vuoi.
Boschi abbandonati e perciò sopravvissuti vergini si aprono, ci abbracciano. La veste dei fantasmi del passato, cadendo lascia il quadro immacolato e s'alza un vento tiepido d'amore.